What's going on, folks? I'm AutoMattock. I got a great question today on my stream that I wanted to address. It's about young Zeku's run stop. So the question was asked, is it real? So what this kind of boils down to is, does it have advantage on block? Are there options that can actually not really press your opponent, but make them decide? So an example of something that's not real with the run stop is crouching medium punch into the run stop. Now the reason why is because you're very much so punishable. This is a 3-frame normal from Karen. I cannot block it. I know at least up to 5. I haven't extensively tested this, but I'm at least -5, maybe even more if I do this process here. So you can say that that's not real, but it does work sometimes. You can do the run into the slide, and that'll actually beat their 3-frame. And the problem is the slide is absurdly negative. This is -21. I've had to look this up multiple times on stream because I'm like, is it really -21? Yes, -21. So if you do something like this, or excuse me, crouching medium punch in the slide, it can act as a way to make your opponent not, do a 3-frame against it, but it's wildly unsafe. Very not the strategy I would recommend. And I mean, to be honest, I do it sometimes. And very sparingly, and very not often at all. Porky Pig over here. So sometimes I'll do something like run stop and then crouching short, and then confirm into the life punch horizontal. I would not advise. I would not advise doing that because it's wildly unsafe. Your crouching short is actually 5 frames, so it's even more space in between that, more than -5 state. So when I say that this is real, it's barely hanging on. So what I want to talk about is the more useful things with run stop, and that is with standing hard punch. Now, this isn't exactly advantageous either. This is actually -2 when you do this run stop. If you do the regular one, it's -4. This is -4. But we'll talk about how this can really happen in the first place. So by standing hard punch, we got to talk about this button just by itself, because the standing hard punch is closely related to the ability to use something like run stop and make it quote unquote real. So let me demonstrate first of all that the standing hard punch itself is something that you can hit confirm, and you can confirm into the slide or the V skill, or even the EX slide will do a little bit more damage. So there's your hit confirm into slide. I did it again because I got nervous. So you can do the V skill off of this too. There we go. So you absolutely can hit confirm the standing hard punch by itself. So the other thing that you can do kind of branches off from that. You can do the hard punch into something like the Bushinsho. At a distance, this can be okay. Now these are setting up deterrents. These are setting up ways that you can condition your opponent to see the standing hard punch and then sort of freeze up, not do anything, and then know that if they hit a button, they could potentially be punished for it. Now you can also do standing hard punch into the medium punch Bushinsho. You can get a trade from that. I'm not the biggest fan of it because this hard punch Bushinsho, although a lot of people have a lot of trouble, they have trouble punishing this move because of the unexpectedly low amount of block stun. All of them are -6, -6, -6. They're all -6. They're all punishable. So I don't particularly like doing this right here. So what you can do instead of that is something like Bushinsho. If you give them enough space, the hard punch Bushinsho will hit them. This is actually not a 3-frame. They can, if you're too close, it'll hit you. But if you're far away, you'll sort of dodge it, and you hit the recovery of their normal. Now you can sort of do the same thing with the EX Bushinsho. You can actually induce a trade here, and off of this trade, shout out to Javits, you can actually get a crouching medium punch, I think, right? As long as you're close enough. So maybe standing medium punch is more consistent, but these are tools that are going to allow you to do something like run stop even better, because when you can condition your opponent to see that standing hard punch and then know that they should wait a little bit, then you can sneak in something like run slide. Now I often just go into the run slide to begin with because I know this is like the earliest stage of people trying to fight against Zeku. They aren't too familiar with what has advantage or what doesn't. So if you watch my stream, you'll see me do something like this quite a bit, and it works more than it should. Run, and then I'll do low short, and then the confirm into light punch Bushinsho. Something, and if they block it, I just let it go. So the other thing you can do here is the overhead, kinda. There's a lot of space in between that, and the throw. Throw will work quite often as well, but And again, you're -2 when that happens. -2. This is a -2 state. -2. Fun fact. This EX run into stop at the fastest possible is the exact same speed of Laura's Avante, her command dash. So when you see Laura do something like crouching medium punch Avante and she's -2, exact same thing. maybe he taught her a thing or two. Okay, so now we also need to talk about standing hard punch and why it's good to do on hit. So this is another reason why run stop is, in this part, absolutely real. This is absolutely real, both on hit and on counter hit. So if you hit them with standing hard punch and run stop, at this state you are at +2. This means that you can throw them and they cannot match a jab, 3 or 4 frame jab after this. So you can, that's absolutely a real string if it hits them. And you still have pressure here, so if they're matching in between this while it hits, you can counter hit them with the crouching jab. Your standing medium punch will link, and you can do the combo, target combo here. So absolutely real there. The beautiful thing about this is if it counter hits, you can combo because you are +4. You got a +4 state when this happens. So you can see my crouching jab combo there. So the two things that I would suggest doing here is standing light kick is 4 frames. You can link it. Standing light kick does do more damage than your crouching light punch, about 20 more. So you can link into the target combo from here. Now the other thing that you can do, which I would recommend, assessing other situations too, like the crush counter, crouching hard punch. You can also link into the light punch Bushinsho, light punch horizontal, so that you can link into your V skill. So this can allow you to switch positions if you want to, and it builds your V trigger in the process. So this branching off of that run stop, I think, is fantastic. This is really good. And you put them closer to the corner than you normally would have, and you can even do the light punch Bushinsho if you find yourself in a position where you haven't decided quite yet what you want to do after that light punch horizontal. So counter hit standing hard punch, amazing. So the other thing that needs to be discussed when we're talking about this run stop here, you can option select V reversals, and you will beat the V reversal if you time it correctly. So I want to bring attention to the timing that I'm using this run stop. So I'm going to turn the V reversal off here. I cancel it much earlier than it really happens. There we go. That's about the right timing. Now, if I use that same timing and my opponent V reversals, when I am hitting the cancel button, that is when the V reversal happens. So it's going to stop me from stopping my run. So this effectively makes me continue my run, which bypasses their V reversal. I talked about this exact same situation in the V reversal video. So let me demonstrate really briefly. So first, I'll demonstrate what happens when you just do the run. You go through the V reversal. So if I stop it too early, I'll get hit by the V reversal. But if I use the same timing to where I get that -2 EX run stop, I'm still stopping it if she doesn't do the V reversal. So what I can do again is then stop it again at the right time and punish the V reversal. There we go. Very cheap stuff. Let me turn counter hit off just so you know for sure. Just so there's no funny business. A little bit too fast. There we go. That is punishing her V reversal guard. It's on guard all. So that about wraps it up in terms of how real run stop is. Well, I forgot one thing. You can do the same thing with the EX run. Because you are at -2, it's not a bad idea for your opponent to challenge it. You can be a total buffoon and then slide, and you can beat the 3 frame. You can actually beat it clean. Crazy thing to do, -21, but yeah. So that's it for now. I hope you learned something. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you learned something. I'm AutoMattock.